Welcome back, Deadites and Ghost Beaters, and today DBDleaks broke it wide open on what the characters are officially, what their perks are going to be, what their P9s are going to look like, and what the add-ons are for what might be the most bonkers killer to date. But before we break all that down, if you like this Dead by Daylight content, please drop a like and a comment on the video below. I answer all my comments and it really does help the channel. Smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell for all Dead by Daylight and horror-related content. And now we're going to talk about what we're getting in Project W. Now, much like the video I dropped a week ago, we are getting exactly what we thought. Albert Wesker's killer, Rebecca Chambers, and Ada Wong are the survivors. So there's 2 survivors, 1 killer. No mention still of a map, so it doesn't look like we're going to get anything but that RPD rework at some point, so I don't think anything's happening there. And we're going to kind of take a look at what is all in here. And first thing I'm going to show you is this. What we have here is what our killers and survivors are going to look like, and it's not really that surprising. We're also going to get their charm. So this is basically what you're going to see through, you know, P6. You got Albert Wesker looking in the typical black suit, going to have a knife as his weapon. Ada Wong in the red dress, not a shocker, and Rebecca Chambers in her star suit, also not a shocker. Kind of what we predicted was going to be coming when we were doing the initial video for Project W. And then we get to see all the perks and what their charms look like, and they look really good. I'm really excited for it, and we'll talk about the perks for each one of them individually in just a moment. We also have a picture of what they look like in P9 form, which I'll show you this as well as seeing outline of. And here are the looks for Bloody Wesker, Bloody Ada, as well as Bloody Rebecca. And I really like the P6 look with the blood on their cosmetics. Looks really sharp, looks really good. I like the blood splatter look to it. And here's their ability. The perks first for Albert is Terminus, Awakened Awareness, and Super Anatomy. And Super Anatomy is going to be bonkers. We'll break down why in just a moment. You got Reassurance, Better Than New, and Hyper Focus for Rebecca, and you got Reactive Healing, Low Profile, and Wiretap for Ada. And now let's take a look and see what those perks actually are. We're going to start with Ada Wong first, probably the most asked for character in Dead by Daylight threads since, well, Chapter 20 when we didn't get Ada Wong. So we'll start with Ada Wong. Everything about Ada Wong was an enigma. Her history, her nationality, her allegiance, her motives, and even her real name was a mystery. Was she a corpus spy working for Umbrella? Was she loyal to Albert Wesker, or was she a double agent? And why was she after Las Paglas Parasite? She was trained assassin, a weapons expert in advanced martial arts training. While investigating Los Elementos, she was captured and nearly killed in a ritual sacrifice. But in the end, she escaped and was never seen again. That too was an enigma. Ada Wong is a mysterious secret agent whose skill in espionage makes her a dangerous foe. Her perks are Wiretap, Reactive Healing, and Low Profile. Allow her to spy on a killer, gain a surge of healing when allies are hurt, and leave no trace when the final survivor. Interesting. Now, like, they don't really go into the full perks, but they give some hints on what is going to be happening with Ada. And now we'll look at Rebecca. Rebecca Chambers, a child prodigy. Rebecca Chambers graduated from college at 18 as a rookie police officer. She was the youngest member of the STARS team and a field medic with Bravo team. Dispatched by STARS to Arkley Research Facility, her squad investigated a series of grisly murders while she discovered undead monsters and mutated animals. She escaped to an even more horrifying place, the old underground Umbrella Corporation facility filled with shocking abominations. Desperate to find other members of Bravo team, she followed their disembodied voices into a mysterious black fog that seemed to appear out of nowhere. As Rebecca pushed through the heavy fog, she suddenly heard menacing footfalls behind her. Instinctively, she reached for a sidearm, but the holster was empty. Her weapons were gone. As it turned out, she heard a guttural roar and quickly evaded a massive club-like weapon. Clambering to her feet, she rushed through the flickering darkness. Rebecca Chambers is a gifted medic, squad member whose presence soothes those around her. Her personal perks, Better Than New, Reassurance, and Hyper Focus, allow her to give teammates speed boosts, give temporary relief to struggling allies, and complete skill checks at increased speed. Interesting. And then we get to the big one, and we're really going to dive into Albert here. And finally, things get wild with the mastermind. Albert Wesker was a high-ranking official of the Umbrella Corporation. While making great strides with Umbrella, his ambition drove him to betray the corporation. Believing himself the best test subject, he exposed himself to a prototype virus. Now with superhuman strength, Wesker faked his death, went underground with a new plan, exposed the world to Ouroboros, a biological weapon that would eliminate the weak and leave only the strong. Wesker began to put his plan of action in Africa, but was confronted by members of the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance at a hangar stocked with missiles carrying Ouroboros. Determined to be a vanguard of evolution, he once again made himself a test subject, exposing himself to the Ouroboros. He began to evolve in ways he could never imagine, but as he felt his cells change, a strange black fog seeped in the hangar and filled his vision. When the fog dissipated, he found himself in another world surrounded by lesser beings that deserved to be put out of their misery. Albert Wesker is a brilliant and ruthless mastermind infused with the power of Ouroboros. His personal perks, superior anatomy, awakened awareness, and terminus allow you to vault faster, see other survivors' aura while carrying one, and cause survivors to permanently be broken when the exit gates are powered. So he basically has endless NOED. Superior anatomy. Decades of research have culminated in you something faster, stronger, and more dangerous than any human. When survivors perform a fast vault within 8 meters of you, this perk activates. Your normal vault speed is increased by 30, 35, and 40% for 3 seconds. This perk deactivates after vaulting a window. This perk has a 30-second cooldown. So, much like Legion, he can do vaults. Awakened awareness. Your genes have been altered to heighten your sense of intense situations. When carrying a survivor, you can see there are the survivors for 16, 18, or 20 meters of your position. Auras revealed this way are visible for 2 seconds after you stop carrying the survivor. Jeez. So not only do you know when people are going to try to block you, you can see it after you finish the hook. Terminus. You are a brilliant tactician who prepares for every eventuality. When the exit gates are powered, this perk activates. Injured, down, broken survivors are inflicted with broken status until the exit gates are open. So basically, he gets his own NOED. When exit gates are open, survivors will stay broken for an additional 20, 25, or 30 seconds. Now, here's the thing. There is some interactions that go along with that as well. First aid spray, a medication that helps reverse the effect of the Ouroboros infection. Limited items are conjured by the entity in the trial's end. Virulent bond. The mastermind can barrel forward, infecting survivors with Ouroboros virus as they're leaping over obstacles. Press and hold the power button to charge a bound attack. While charging, the mastermind moves slightly slower as he prepares to strike. When charged, press the attack button to bound. If the mastermind hits a survivor, that survivor becomes infected or furthers their infection. Should the mastermind crash into something during the bound, he will slam the survivor, causing damage. If not, the survivor is thrown, losing health state if they were thrown into any solid object. If virulent bound hits a dropped pallet or vault location, the mastermind vaults over the obstacle. Good gravy. Special effect, Ouroboros infection. Upon being hit by virulent bound, survivors become infected. While infected, the survivor suffers from hindered effect, and the infection builds over time. When fully infected, the effect becomes even more pronounced. If virulent bond hits a survivor and they are fully infected, the mastermind will automatically carry them. What? What? So if I hit someone vaulting and they're already fully infected, I can then just grab them. That is ridiculous. At the beginning of each trial, several surprise crates will spawn. Each will have first aid spray. When affected, the survivor can use the first aid spray on themselves or another, removing the infection. Okay, so you can carry the first aid spray and use it on someone else. That's kind of cool. Now let's talk about his add-ons. Like, this is crazy. And I'm not going to break down what their description is, just what they do. Jewel Beetle. Decrease the virulent bond extension when grabbing survivor bond mid-bound by 50%. Gain 100% bonus blood points for virulent bond score events. Green Herb. Increase the rate of infection when grabbing survivor during virulent bond by 30%. Unicorn Medallion. Increase the initial virulent bond distance by 20%. Decreases the subsequent virulent bound distance by 20%. RPD Soldier Walkie. Decrease the initial virulent bond distance. So this is basically the exact opposite of Unicorn Medallion. So decrease initial, increase subsequent. Okay. Loose Crank. Increase movement speed between the first and second virulent bonds by 20%. Leather Glove. Decrease the time to recharge virulent bond by 10%. Lion Medallion. Increase the distance at which survivors are thrown by 30%. Chalice, increase the virulent bond extension when grabbing survivor mid-bound by 50%. Bullhorn, survivors that use first aid sprays suffer from oblivious status effect for 30 seconds. Good God. Oh boy. Lab photo, destroy pallets and breakable balls when colliding using virulent bond. Remove the ability to vault pallets while using. Okay, so basically instead of vaulting over, you just go right through them. Iridescent Ouroboros vial. Oh, good gravy. What could this be? Survivors start the trial infected. Survivors suffer from exposed status effect for 30 seconds when reaching maximum. Oh boy. This is gonna be wild. Like, if you are a killer main, you have to be drooling just thinking of how good Wesker is gonna be. He is like a combination of Legion and Nemesis. And dear God, I feel bad for survivors. If survivors are complaining now about how the game is, you guys are gonna lose your mind when Project W drops in September. Now, we don't really know how good the perks are for Ada and Rebecca because they're not as detailed yet. But damn, Wesker is something else. And I think we're gonna see a lot of Wesker mates. Million blood point save, anyone? We just make sure we get all the good stuff. Like, you don't even need NOED. Like, who cares about NOED? You have BYOB. You bring your own. This is really cool. I like where they've gone with Wesker as a killer main. This definitely sounds a lot of fun. Not that I don't play Survivor, and I'm very excited to play as Ada, a character I've won in the game for a long time, but holy shit, this is going to be wild, and I think it's going to be awesome. What do you guys think of Wesker? What do you think of Ada, Rebecca? What else are you thinking about Project W? So let me know your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching, and later, mates.